Have you ever opened up your oven and just felt your heart sink a little? You pull out those racks and they are covered in thick, sticky, baked-on grease that looks like it has been sitting there since the last presidential election. You poke at it, you scratch at it with your fingernail, you even try running a little hot water over it, hoping maybe it'll just wipe away, and nothing happens. It just sits there, brown and crusty and stubborn, mocking you every single time you open that oven door. If that sounds familiar, I want you to keep watching, because today I am going to show you something that completely changed the way I clean my oven racks forever. No scrubbing, no harsh chemicals splashing on your hands, no spending your whole Saturday afternoon on your knees with a scouring pad, wearing out your shoulders and your patience while your back starts to ache. Just a simple plastic bag, one ordinary household ingredient you probably already have under your sink, and about 15 minutes of waiting. That is it. And when you open that bag, what you find inside is going to genuinely shock you. I know that sounds almost too good to be true. Trust me, I felt exactly the same way the first time somebody told me about this trick. I have tried so many so-called miracle cleaning hacks over the years, and most of them leave me more frustrated than when I started, with wasted money and wasted time to show for it. But this one is different, and I am going to walk you through every single step, nice and slow, so you can do this yourself safely and easily, no matter your age, no matter how much cleaning experience you have, and no matter how bad your racks currently look. So if you are tired of scrubbing your oven racks until your arms ache, if you are tired of breathing in those harsh fumes from store-bought oven cleaners, and if you just want your oven racks to look brand new again without all the hassle, stick with me all the way through this video. I promise you this one is worth your time. And by the end, you are going to wonder why nobody taught you this years ago. Let's talk for a moment about why oven racks get so disgusting in the first place, and why they are honestly one of the hardest things in the whole kitchen to clean. Every single time you bake a casserole, roast a chicken, bake a pie, or even just heat up something simple like frozen fries, tiny bits of grease and food splatter up onto those racks. And because your oven runs so incredibly hot, that grease does not just sit there like it would on a countertop. It bakes, it hardens, it turns into this shiny, dark, almost glassy layer that clings to the metal like it has been welded on with a torch. Here's the tricky part that most people do not realize, and it's the real reason this problem feels so hopeless. Every single time you use your oven after that first spill, a little more grease gets added right on top of the last layer. So what you're actually dealing with is not just one mess from one meal, it's months, sometimes even years of baked-on layers stacked one on top of the other, like the world's least appetizing lasagna. That is exactly why scrubbing alone almost never works, no matter how hard you try. You might get the surface layer off if you scrub until your arm feels like it's going to fall off, but underneath there are more layers just waiting, and they are usually older, harder, and even more stubborn than what you already fought through. And let's be honest with each other for a second. Scrubbing metal oven racks is no joke, especially for anyone dealing with arthritis, joint pain, or just the normal aches that come with getting a little older. The wires are thin, they are awkward to hold onto, they poke into your palm, and if you have any issues at all with your hands, your wrists, or your shoulders, that repetitive back and forth scrubbing motion can be downright painful. Many of you watching are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond, and the last thing you want is to spend your afternoon hunched over a bathtub or a sink, elbow deep in cold, greasy water, scrubbing until your arms give out and your back is screaming at you to stop. On top of all of that, a lot of the store-bought oven cleaners are seriously harsh. They have strong chemical fumes that can make you cough, sting your eyes, and honestly just do not feel good to be around, especially in a closed-up kitchen in the middle of winter when you can't exactly throw every window open. Some of these products even come with big warning labels telling you to wear gloves, wear a mask, and ventilate the entire room. That is not exactly the relaxing, peaceful cleaning experience any of us are hoping for when we just want a clean kitchen. So we end up stuck in this frustrating cycle, one that I bet a lot of you know all too well. The racks get dirty, scrubbing does not fully work no matter how much effort you put in, the harsh chemicals feel unpleasant and honestly a little unsafe to be breathing in, and eventually a lot of people just give up entirely. They either live with dirty, embarrassing racks hidden away behind that oven door, closing it quickly whenever guests are over, or they go out and spend real money buying brand new replacement racks, which should absolutely never be necessary for something that can actually be cleaned. But here's the part most people miss, and it's the whole secret behind why this method works so beautifully. You do not need brute force to break down that baked-on grease. You don't need stronger muscles or a better scrub brush or a more expensive spray. What you actually need is the right kind of chemistry, quietly working in the background while you go do something else entirely, like relaxing with your coffee or watching your favorite show. That's exactly what this method is going to give you. And once you see it in action, you're going to understand exactly why it works so much better than anything you have tried before. What you need. Before we get into the steps, let's go over exactly what you'll need. I promise you, every single item on this list is cheap, easy to find, and probably already sitting in your home right now. There's nothing exotic here, nothing you need to order online and wait a week for, and nothing that's going to cost you more than a couple of dollars. First, you'll need a large plastic trash bag, something big enough to fully fit your oven rack inside with a little extra room to spare. Contractor bags work wonderfully because they're thick, sturdy, and much less likely to tear or leak, but an ordinary heavy-duty kitchen trash bag will work just fine too if that's what you have on hand. Second, you'll need ordinary household ammonia. You can find this in the cleaning aisle of almost any grocery store right alongside the other basic cleaning supplies, and it's very inexpensive, usually just a couple of dollars a bottle. This is really the star ingredient in this whole method, and I'll explain exactly why it works so well in just a moment, because understanding the why is going to make you trust this process a whole lot more. Third, you will want a flat, stable surface to lay your bag on, like your kitchen counter, a table out on the patio, your garage floor, or even your bathtub. Somewhere safe and steady where the bag can sit undisturbed for a while without getting knocked over or stepped on. Fourth, you will need some old towels or a few sheets of newspaper to lay underneath your bag, just to protect whatever surface you're working on, and to catch any little drips along the way. Fifth, grab yourself a pair of rubber gloves. While this method is much gentler than harsh scrubbing, ammonia does have a strong smell and can irritate the skin, so it's always smart to protect your hands whenever you're working with any kind of cleaning product. And finally, you will want a soft sponge or an old cloth for the very final wipe down, though, as you're about to see, you will barely need to use it at all, which is honestly one of the best parts of this whole process. That is truly the entire list. No expensive gadgets, no specialty cleaning products from some overpriced online store, nothing complicated to track down. Just a bag, some ammonia, a little space, and a bit of patience, step by step. All right, let's get into exactly how this works, step by step, nice and slow, so you feel completely comfortable doing this yourself the very first time without any guesswork. Step 1. Prepare your space. Start by laying down your old towels or newspaper on the surface you plan to use, whether that's your kitchen counter, your garage floor, or even outside on your patio table. Many people actually prefer doing this outside or in a garage because of the ammonia smell, and that's a wonderful option if the weather allows for it. Just make sure wherever you choose is flat, stable, and somewhere the bag will not get bumped or knocked over by kids, pets, or a stray gust of wind. Step 2. Take out your oven racks. Carefully remove the racks from your oven. If they're still warm from recent use, give them plenty of time to cool down completely before you handle them, both for your safety and for the bag's safety, since a hot rack could actually melt through plastic. Take a moment here and really look closely at them. Notice all that baked-on grease, those dark, crusty patches, maybe even some areas that look almost completely black. I want you to remember exactly what they look like right now, because in just a little while, the difference is going to feel almost unbelievable, like you're looking at two completely different sets of racks. Step 3. Open up your plastic bag. Take your large plastic bag and lay it flat on your prepared surface, with the opening facing upward, like a big open pouch waiting to be filled. If you're using a smaller bag and have 2 racks to clean at once, you can either use 2 separate bags, one for each rack, or find one bag large enough to fit both racks together with a little room left over. Step 4. Slide your rack inside. Take your time here. There is absolutely no rush at this point. Make sure the rack is positioned so that it sits fully contained inside the bag, with enough extra plastic left over at the top so you can seal it closed properly later on. Step 5. Add the ammonia. Now here comes the important part, the actual heart of this whole method. Pour about 1 to 1.5 cups of ammonia into the bag, right alongside the rack. You do not need to drown the rack in liquid. You are not trying to fully submerge it. The goal here is simply to get enough ammonia in there so that the fumes build up and fill the entire inside of that sealed bag. Now let's talk about why this actually works, because I think understanding the science behind it makes the whole process feel so much less mysterious and so much more trustworthy. Ammonia releases a powerful vapor, and that vapor is incredible at breaking down grease and fatty residue on a chemical level. When you seal that rack inside a bag together with the ammonia, you are essentially creating a sealed little chamber where those strong fumes have nowhere else to go except directly onto that baked-on grease, working continuously in a way your hands and a scrub brush simply cannot match. The fumes gently loosen and dissolve the grease from every single angle, including all those tricky little corners, curves, and grooves in the metal that you could never properly reach with any kind of brush anyway, no matter how hard you scrubbed. Step 6. Seal the bag tightly. Once the ammonia is poured in, carefully gather the top of the bag together and tie it shut, or use a rubber band, a twist tie, or even a sturdy clip to seal it completely. You want this bag as airtight as possible, so none of those powerful fumes escape into the room around you. This is a genuinely important step, so take an extra moment here to make sure that seal is nice and secure before you walk away from it. Step 7. Let it sit. Here is where the real magic happens, and it requires absolutely zero effort from you at all. Simply set the sealed bag aside somewhere safe, away from children and pets, and somewhere with a little bit of airflow, like a garage, a covered porch, or a laundry room. Now, for many people, letting this sit overnight for about 8 to 12 hours gives the most dramatic results, especially for racks that have years and years of buildup on them. However, if your racks are only mildly dirty, or if you are simply short on time, many people notice a real, visible difference in as little as 15 to 20 minutes for lighter grime, which is exactly why this method has become so popular with busy folks. The general rule is simple. The heavier and more stubborn the grease, the longer you will want to let that bag sit and quietly do its work. Step 8. Open the bag carefully. Once your waiting time is up, it is time for the big reveal. And honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of the whole process. Take your gloves and, working in a well-ventilated area, carefully open the top of the bag. I always recommend turning your face slightly away and opening it slowly, because that ammonia smell will be fairly strong when it is first released into the air. Give it a moment or two to air out before you lean in and get a closer look. Step 9. Rinse the rack. Now, carefully lift your rack out of the bag and rinse it thoroughly under warm, running water, either in your bathtub, a large basin, or outside with a garden hose if that is easier on your back and your knees. As the water hits that rack, watch closely, because this is genuinely one of the most satisfying moments in all of home cleaning. That thick, baked-on grease that used to feel like dried concrete is now soft, loosened, and practically sliding right off the metal with barely any effort from you at all. Step 10. Gentle wipe if needed. For any small remaining spots that did not fully rinse away, take your soft sponge or cloth and gently wipe the area. You'll notice that what used to require intense, sweaty scrubbing now comes off with the absolute lightest touch, almost like wiping crumbs off a clean countertop. There is no aggressive scraping needed here, no elbow grease required whatsoever, just a light, gentle wipe to finish the job off completely. Step 11. Dry and reinstall. Once your rack looks clean, shiny, and like its old self again, dry it off completely with a clean towel and slide it right back into your oven where it belongs. And just like that, with barely any physical effort on your part, you are completely done. Final results. Let's talk about the results now, because this is really the moment everyone has been waiting for. Before this method, we're talking about oven racks with dark, sticky, baked-on grease covering large sections. Grease so stubborn it almost looked permanent, like it had somehow become part of the metal itself over the years. Some spots were so thick and so dark that you could not even see the original silver color of the rack hiding underneath all that buildup. After going through this simple, low-effort process, those same racks come out looking dramatically different, almost unrecognizable in the best possible way. The grime that took months or even years to build up simply lifts away, revealing clean, bright, shiny metal underneath that had been hidden for who knows how long. Many people are genuinely shocked to remember their racks were ever silver to begin with, because the grease had been covering them for so long that they had honestly forgotten what the original color even looked like underneath it all. Now, I do want to be honest and realistic with you here, because trust matters far more to me than exaggeration or empty promises. For extremely heavy, years-old buildup, you may occasionally need to repeat this process a second time, or spend just a minute or two lightly wiping the very toughest, thickest spots. This is not necessarily an instant 100% miracle for every single rack in every single condition out there. But compared to traditional scrubbing, this method dramatically reduces your effort, your time, and your frustration, while still giving genuinely impressive, satisfying results that feel like a real transformation rather than just a slight, disappointing improvement. The best part of all of this is how it feels afterward. You slide those racks back into your oven, close the door, and there's this quiet sense of pride and relief that washes over you, like you finally tackled a job you had been avoiding and dreading for way too long, and it turned out to be so much easier than you ever could have expected. Maintenance tips. Now that your racks are looking wonderful again, let's talk about a few simple tips to keep them that way for longer, so you're not stuck doing another heavy-duty cleaning session again anytime soon. First, try to wipe up major spills as soon as your oven cools down after cooking, rather than letting them sit and bake on over multiple uses. A quick wipe now, while things are still fresh, saves you a much bigger, tougher job later on down the road. Second, consider placing a sheet of aluminum foil on the very bottom rack of your oven, well below your cooking dish, to catch drips before they ever reach your other racks. Just be sure to never place foil directly on the oven floor itself or over any vents, since that can affect your oven's performance and even create a safety concern over time. Third, if you know ahead of time that you have a particularly messy meal coming up, like a bubbling casserole or a dripping roast, consider placing a baking sheet or a sheet of foil underneath the dish to catch any spills before they ever hit the racks at all. And finally, doing this simple ammonia bag method just once every few months, even as light routine maintenance rather than a full deep clean, keeps your racks from ever reaching that extreme years-old buildup stage again. A little bit of consistency really does go a long way, and it means every future cleaning session will be even faster and easier than this one. And there you have it. A simple, safe, and genuinely satisfying way to clean even the most disgusting, baked-on oven racks without a single minute of harsh scrubbing. Just a plastic bag, a little ammonia, some patience, and you get results that honestly feel like you went out and bought brand new racks for your oven. If you tried this method, or if you plan to try it sometime this week, I would love for you to leave a comment down below and let me know exactly how it turned out for you. Did your racks come out looking as amazing as mine did? I read every single comment, and I truly love hearing your results and picking up your own personal cleaning tips too. If this video helped you even a little bit, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel grow and helps this video reach other people out there who are dealing with the exact same greasy oven rack frustration you were feeling before you clicked play today. And if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Please consider subscribing and tapping that notification bell because I have so many more simple, senior-friendly cleaning tips coming your way. Methods that are gentle on your body, easy on your wallet, and genuinely effective, not just gimmicks made for views. In fact, in my very next video, I am going to show you an equally simple trick for cleaning your glass oven door, the one with all those cloudy, baked-on stains that make your whole kitchen look older and dirtier than it really is. You will not want to miss that one. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Take care of yourself, take care of your home, and I will see you in the very next video.